Business Matters, presented by the Guamanian Magazine.
More than a month after publicly airing their concerns, local officials, including the governor and the congresswoman, still question what they see as an increase in denials of H-2 visa applications and an overall slowdown in processing by the U.S. Citizen and Immigration Service. But in a statement, USCIS denied any change in policy and explained that both the California and Vermont service centers have undergone recent staff changes, and officers new to H-2B adjudication are in training. Still, Guam's Alien Labor Processing Division Chief Greg Massey says there must be more to it.
I'm in a position to say that something's happening because if you've had almost 100% approval rate this time last year and 100% denial rate this time this year, then obviously something's wrong. And we are seeing at this point from December to now 100% denial.
Massey says there's also been an unusually high number of requests for evidence, which he says are typically precursors to denial. USCIS maintains that a temporary increase in the number of RFEs will occur as officers familiarize themselves with a new type of adjudication. USCIS says an increase in RFEs should not be viewed as a change in existing practice. It simply reflects the extra care new officers are taking. But Massey says that still doesn't explain the denial rate.
For the most part, I'd say, maybe 1 out of 100, would be denied, and maybe that's because you didn't respond correctly or whatever. But there wasn't anything systemic. Right now, we feel that it is systemic because from December until now, we haven't seen one single H2 approval, which is unheard of.
Massey says Guam needs thousands of foreign workers, mostly for the construction trade, but even the new hospital has a shortage of nurses. He says should they be forced to go home or new applications are not approved, the impact can be serious.
Possibly companies shutting down, those that can't source enough local skilled labor. Definitely there's going to be delays in any construction project, that's using any foreign workers. You're going to see a lot of employers lose a lot of money, repatriate, sending workers home. Program-wise, the federal wheels move slowly. We may be talking months or a year. Contractors really don't have that. The ones that are engaged right now don't really have that much time before they really lose, and especially the nurses at the hospital. Once the denial happens, these workers now don't have status. And so they're starting to accrue what's called unlawful presence. And if you accrue too much unlawful presence, then that might affect any visas that, in the future.
Massey says the Defense Department would be the most affected, but while the Department of Navy says it is aware of the concerns, it released its own statement saying there is currently no immediate worker-related impact to its construction projects. But Massey still hopes the Defense Department will intercede and help fast-track a resolution with USCIS.
You're going to need that federal agency to federal agency interaction. On a local to federal, there's only so much we can do.
Massey is curious why the USCIS is, quote, nitpicking over some really obscure terms that it never did before. Because of that, GovGuam is seeking reassurance it won't be left vulnerable to what it believes may be future bureaucratic whims.
In the long term, though, we are going to need kind of a legislative fix because what happens when they hire new examiners again? Are we going to come into this pattern of denials? We want to make sure that doesn't happen, especially when we're in the middle of the build-up and all of these projects are kind of going to be time sensitive.
For KOM's Business Matters, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Business Matters, presented by the Guamanian Magazine.